Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti. I am MrPhotographer.com, but this video isn't about photography. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how much I earn from YouTube. As I mentioned at the top, this video isn't about photography, so I suspect many of you are new to my channel. If you are, please do me a favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and remember to click that little bell so you get updates. All right, I'm not going to bury the lead. Over the last month or so, I've made around $157 a day on YouTube, and I'm going to show you the exact numbers in a moment. But let me give you a little bit more history about my channel and tell you about the mistakes I made and what I could have done to earn money, more money earlier in my YouTube career. As a matter of fact, I really never made a living wage on YouTube until very recently, and it was because I was just doing things the wrong way. Now, first of all, I started a YouTube channel probably around 2010 or so, but I never put any videos on it, and I didn't have it monetized until July of 2013, so almost exactly 7 years ago. And I uploaded my first video, and to begin with, I think I was uploading around 2 to 3 videos a week. And I'd say within maybe 3 months, I was making $20 to $25 a day. And I probably made $20 to $25 a day for a long time, like for well over a year, even though I was uploading 2 or 3 videos a week. And there was a lot of things I wasn't doing correctly. First of all, my videos were kind of bland. I was learning as I was going. I spoke very monotone. I wasn't very excited in my videos, so they didn't really generate a lot of excitement. And as I was doing more and more videos, I think I might have got a little bit better at presenting whatever I was doing in the video. So my presentation improved, and slowly I started to inch up my income a little bit. And within a few years, I was probably making around $50 a day. And I stayed there for quite a while. Then around the time I think I got around 250,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Now, granted, I had 250,000, 250,000 subscribers, and I was still making around $50 a day on YouTube. Well, YouTube sent me an email, and they said, would you like an advisor to help you with your channel, to give you advice and talk to you about what you could do to better promote your channel? And I said, sure. So I had about 3 or 4 meetings with this guy. His name was Ash, and he was really great. And he told me a lot of things I was doing wrong. First of all, my titles of my videos were very clinical. They, you know, how to do this, you know. They weren't very exciting. He said I should like capitalize things and, you know, make it like read like a headline on a extra edition newspaper that came out when something crazy happened, you know, make it look like a headline. And my titles were just horrible. Also, I was in the habit of doing, and I did it for a long time, a video series. So I would do a video series on Lightroom, and I'd start out with video 1, you know, quick start. Then video 2 would be the basic panel. Then video 3 was a black and white image in Lightroom. And they were just very pedantic. And again, I use very boring titles. And what happens is you get a lot of views on that first video of the series, but then each subsequent video, the views just keep dwindling, and pretty soon there's really nobody watching your video anymore. So you're taking a lot of time doing these series, and they really don't translate into a lot of views, even if you have 250,000 subscribers on your channel. So he told me I should probably avoid doing video series and do one-ofs, you know. And the other thing was my thumbnails. My thumbnails were very boring, and he said that, you know, if you have a thumbnail with a person in it, it doesn't really matter if it's a man or a woman, but if you have a person in it, it tends to get more views than a thumbnail video that doesn't have a person in it. And I'd say that probably 95% of my videos didn't have people in the thumbnail. It just had the screen that I was working on for whatever I was doing, and it was boring. So he made those basic recommendations, and also as far as myself, he wanted me to market myself a little different. Two things, and one thing I did do, he wanted me to come up with like a nickname for myself. And he gave me a lot of examples of different channels where the person has a nickname. And I never really could think of a good nickname for a photographer, except when I was just starting out as a professional photographer. I was a wedding photographer, and any wedding photographer will tell you that when they're photographing a wedding, especially the reception, as people start drinking a little bit, if they want you to take a picture, they'll say, Mr. Photographer, come here, or take this picture, Mr. Photographer. So I got used to being called Mr. Photographer, so that's where I came up with the I am Mr. Photographer, I say at the beginning, and then I have a website, IamMrPhotographer.com, that people could go to, and that's kind of the central hub that will get you to the website with all my training, get you to the website with my personal work, and my YouTube channel, and so on. So I came up with that. Also, he wanted me to come up with a saying, like Emerald says, bam, or something like that. And I just can't. I just couldn't think of anything. So at this point, I still haven't come up with the saying. So he gave me some great advice. Unfortunately, my youngest son, Joe, got ill. And those of you that have watched my channels, my videos over the years, know that when my son, Joe, got ill, I was kind of going through the motion. And I wasn't putting a lot of videos out. He was getting chemotherapy. So like every day for about a year, it was kind of not, YouTube wasn't foremost on my mind. So it kind of wallowed, and I still was making $50, $60 on a good day, a day, So then, finally, thankfully, he's great now, my son, he's healthy, everything's going great. As a matter of fact, he's helping me with my channel now. And I started to implement some of the things that Ash suggested. I started changing the titles so they were more exciting sounding. I stopped doing video series. I made my thumbnails much more interesting, and I always made sure they had people in it. So not always, but often would have people in it. And suddenly I started seeing my views go up. And I'd say over the past 6 months, I suddenly jumped from like $50 a day to $80 a day, and then it was like $100 a day, and then it was like $150 a day. So it's been gradually climbing. Currently I have 337,125 subscribers to my YouTube channel. And again, subscribers really don't necessarily translate into more income. Monetized views translate into more income, but subscribers give you a base, so that when you do create a new video, especially if they click that little bell, they'll get an update that you put up a new video, and you'll tend to get some views right away on your video. So that does help. Now, as far as the monetized views and all that other stuff, let's dig down into the numbers a little bit. And I'm sorry I took so long. I know many of you probably are watching this video for this. Now, first of all, if you go to my channel analytics, by default it's going to give you the last 28 days. And there's a couple numbers that you should learn right away. The first one is playback-based CPM. CPM is kind of nicknamed cost per mile. And what that actually means, that's how much money you make per 1,000 views. But there's a lot of caveats to this, so let me explain it to you. First of all, let me just hover over this little clock symbol, and I'll read to you what it says. Playback-based CPM means effective playback-based cost per mile, and tells you how much advertisers paid per 1,000 monetized playbacks. To calculate your playback-based CPM, the total revenue from ads is divided by the estimated monetized playbacks. An estimated monetized playback happens when a viewer sees at least one ad impression when watching one of your videos. All right, now you can see my cost per mile, CPM, is $27.18. Now that does not mean I've made $27.18 per 1,000 views. What that is that's the total amount of revenue my monetized views earned per 1,000, but I don't get all of that. I get 55% of that, and YouTube gets 45% of that. So I get 55% of $27.18. So I'll quickly do the math. And so 27.18 times 0.55. So I make $14.949 per 1,000 views. And to go back a little bit, when I was thinking about creating a YouTube channel, I watched a lot of videos and read a lot of articles about how much you make on YouTube. And just about all of them said you make roughly $3 per 1,000 views, and that is ridiculous. And actually, what's prompting me to do this video is a prominent photographer. Not recently, it was a while ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, did a video where he mentioned that he makes about $3 per 1,000 views, and that's just not true. You make more than that. It's just wrong. I don't know why people are saying that. Now, a more accurate number is RPM. This is revenue per mile, and the M, it's nicknamed mile, but it's actually the Roman numeral M is 1,000, so that's why they use M. Instead of T maybe, or something like that. So this is the actual amount. Now there's monetized views and there's views, because ads don't always run on every single video. It's up to YouTube whether or not an ad is going to be on a video. So a lot of times somebody will watch my video and no ad at all will show up. So that's still a view, but it's not a monetized view. So that doesn't show up in CPM, but that does show up in RPM. And also, if someone has an ad blocker, they won't see, even if YouTube is trying to put an ad on that video, they won't see it. So that counts as a non-revenued ad. So that shows up still in RPM. So this is a more accurate number. And that $10.47, that's the actual money I got per 1,000 views. So it's not a 55-45 split. That's already split. That's my 55% right there. So I made $10.47 over the last 28 days on average per 1,000 views of any video, monetized, not monetized. So that still is considerably more than $3 per 1,000 views. Now these numbers vary greatly. Different months have different amounts of revenue. As you're leading up to Christmas, I would say October, November, and December, those are the best months. Those when you make the most money, because more advertisers are running ads on YouTube, and the ads are done by a bid process. So an advertiser says, I want to run my ad, and I want it to run on these days at this certain time, and I'm going to bid, let's say, $5 per view. And if other advertisers are bidding higher, their ads will show before those ads show. So it's all the bid process. So whoever pays the most will have their ad show. But January, February, March, there's not as many people advertising, and the bids will be lower. So you won't make as much money in those months. As a matter of fact, probably like in November, I probably make twice as much as I would in, say, January or February. So it does vary greatly depending on what month it is. Now, let's drill it down a little more. If we look over the last 28 days, my #1 video is warning to Luminar users. You could see over the last 28 days that video has earned $229.74. Now again, that's not my total share. That's the 55% of that is mine. But if I click on that and we look at some more specific data pertaining to that video, you'll see over the past 28 days that video has garnered 17,700 views. The total watch time in hours is 693.1 hours. I've gained 24 subscribers, so people watching that video subscribed to my channel. 24 different people at least did, and again, it's earned me the revenue of $229.74. So overall, if I click then on the individual markers, you could see that the graph changes. So there's the number of subscribers and the revenue. Now, if you're wondering, let's see, let's go back. If you're wondering what's my #1 video ever, actually I didn't want that. Let's go here. If I go to all time, lifetime, now I mentioned that I've really never made a living wage on YouTube. Until recently, you could consider it a living wage. And you could look at, this is my lifetime. You could see that I started in July of 2013. I started making, there's 9 cents a day, 56.81. Then I mentioned it was 25. And you can see as the graph goes across, I stayed pretty much the same. I was at $50 a day for the longest time, right? Then I even went down a little bit. And this around here was the time my son was sick. Then you could see it started to go up. And if I look at the #1 video over that time, first of all, let's look at the total revenue here I've ever made on YouTube is $131,615.33. So if I do the math on that, that's over 7 years, right? So it's $131,615.33, and we divide that by 7 years. I've made roughly $18,802 a year. So really not a living wage, all right? It's not bad, but it's not a living wage. Now if I go to my #1 video of all time, it's Learn Lightroom 5 video, getting started, Learn Lightroom 5. And you could see that overall that video has, let's see, where is it? If we go to, oh, we got to go to all time. Bear with me. We'll go to since uploaded. That video has 2.4 million views. So that video has given me the most views. So this gives you an idea of those guys that upload videos like Peter McKinnon and stuff. And he gets videos regularly within months with 1 million views. It gives you an idea that the kind of bucks he would make. Now over this, for this one video, I've made $12,138.69. This video was uploaded though in 2013. So for 7 years, this one video though has earned me $12,138.69. So you could see that, you know, some videos obviously are going to do great, and some videos won't do as well. The idea is though that you put up onto YouTube a lot of good value, a lot of good stuff for a lot of different people that they'll enjoy, and hopefully you'll gain a following, and then hopefully this will help you garner more monetized views every day, like I've been doing more lately, and get better results. And again, I just want to reiterate, if you're starting your own channel, stay away from video series, and make sure that your titles are interesting, make sure your thumbnails are interesting, and overall just, you know, be genuine, and I think you'll do fine. Now I will say though that some channels are going to garner better like more money than other types of channels. For example, I wouldn't say photography is near the top. As a matter of fact, photography is probably in the lower half. If you're doing, let's say, music, a music type channel, music related channel, even if, like, you know, a critic or something like that, if you're doing video games, if you're doing anything with politics, those are the top channels. So you're going to get more money per view because advertisers are, there's more advertisers trying to advertise on those types of channels, and you'll see that you'll make more money overall. Then again, though, if you're doing a channel and you're talking about you know, mineral mining, the history of mineral mining in Afghanistan, you're not going to make much money. Even if you probably get a lot of views. Let's say you get a lot of views. There's not going to be a lot of advertisers that are going to, care to probably advertise on that type of video or those types of videos. You'll notice if you watch any photography channel, you'll see a lot of ads for Adobe, Skylum software, On One software, a lot of different software companies. You'll also see a lot of websites like Squarespace and Wix that have websites for photographers. So these are companies that are specifically want their ads to run on those types of videos. Again, if you're doing politics or if you're doing video games, you're going to get companies specific to those genres to advertise on those. And again, they're going to be more popular, you're going to get more views, and you're probably going to have more advertisers bidding higher to get on those types of channels. So you're going to make a lot more money than, let's say, a photographer or someone talking about the history of mineral mining in Afghanistan. So overall, I just wanted to share this with you because when I was researching it, when I was first starting it, the number I kept hearing was $3 per 1,000 views. And then when that other photographer who has a channel that's probably about 4 times bigger than mine, 4 times as many followers, says he makes around $3 per 1,000 views, that's just not right. It's just incorrect. I don't know why anyone would mislead anyone about that. So you do make considerably more, or you can make considerably more. Again, though, it does depend on a lot of different factors. So I hope I didn't bore you to death, and I hope that helps you better understand how you could earn money with your own YouTube channel. Thank you, everyone who watches my videos. I really do appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys soon.